You are Locked On Warriors POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And tonight, the Golden State Warriors blew out the Phoenix Suns by 38 points. Final score 133-95. That's a massive win for the Dubs. Steph and company buried Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, who did not have Kevin Durant tonight, before halftime as they led by 26 points at the break. Two massive first half runs put the Warriors comfortably ahead as they coasted to the finish line. Only 3 games remain in the regular season for the Warriors, and with the NBA's Western Conference as close as it gets, they need all the wins they can get to remain in the playoffs and out of the play-in. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in, and make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors daily show for more in-depth coverage. As I said, the Warriors from the jump in this one really took it to the Suns. Seemed like they were motivated to get back in the win column after losing to the Rockets in their last time out. And really, the turning point came very early on in this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, that's what you'll be talking about, which we can get to first. I was going to go into the turning point, but then I hit the wrong sounder. So what you'll be talking about, man, is that the Warriors look they look just where you want them to be heading into the playoffs. You're not going to go undefeated through the rest of the season. You're not going to go undefeated in the playoffs, in the postseason. That's definitely not going to happen. But what you want to see is a team that can bounce back. After getting knocked down, you want to see them get back up and fight. And they absolutely got knocked down last night against the Houston Rockets, or not last night, but in their last time out. The Rockets came out with a great game plan to stifle Steph. He only had 3 points and a very poor shooting night. And what Steph do, and not just Steph, but the rest of the team, they come out and respond with a massive first half, 69 points. Nice in the first half, 37 in that first quarter. This is exactly what you want to see from this team. And Steph, not only did he have 25 points with 9 rebounds and 6 assists on 9 of 17 shooting in just 26 minutes, but he also had a plus 31 plus minus. The Warriors did a great job utilizing the Steph minutes. Honestly, really everyone on this team had a positive plus minus. So it was even all the backups who came in the fourth quarter, because none of the starters really played very much in the fourth quarter, and especially 0 minutes in the fourth from Steph and Draymond and Jimmy. Draymond and Jimmy only played 20 minutes apiece. You love to see the rest happening with these 3 guys heading down the stretch. I think that's going to be huge, keeping these guys fresh. I mean, we all know that the age of these guys is advanced in basketball terms for Steph and Jimmy and Draymond. The freshness of these guys is going to be paramount in the postseason for the Dubs if they want to make a solid run. But with the win tonight, and with a couple other teams around the West losing, the Warriors playoff push gets a little bit more exciting. I mean, the Warriors are now 47-32 with the win tonight, and that is a big deal because the Timberwolves lost tonight, and so did the Lakers. So the Warriors gaining a little bit of ground on the Lakers. They're also separating a little bit from the Timberwolves, and that game against the Clippers at the end of the season still looms very large. You also had all that drama in Denver today where Mike Malone got fired out of absolutely nowhere. And I mean, the Nuggets have not been playing very great basketball as of late, losing games when Jokic has a 61-point triple-double, and he had another great scoring night that also was a triple-double in both games they lost recently. So the Nuggets in disarray right now. You love to see it if you're a Warriors fan, because right now there's not too many teams that you're looking around the West and saying that team is clearly better than the Warriors, save for maybe OKC, who the Warriors have already won the season series against. So that's got to give you a little bit of confidence. You also did not have Jimmy Butler when you ended up winning that season series against the Thunder. So you really hope that the Warriors going into the playoffs are firing on all cylinders, and it really seems like they are. They're going to have 3 more games two against some very, some subpar opponents, the San Antonio Spurs and the Portland Trail Blazers. The Warriors should win both of those games leading up to the final game of the season, where they will play the Clippers. That game is at Chase Center, and that game is going to be massive potentially for the Warriors. So tonight, the turning point. Let's get to the turning point, because it happened very, very, very early on in this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point came very early on in that first quarter, just a couple minutes into this game, like about 3 minutes-ish into this game. The Rockets took a 1-point lead. That was their only lead of the game. It was 8-7 when the Rockets took that 1-point lead, and the Warriors went on a 17-4 run to pull away. It was fueled by Steph playing like himself again, and everyone else in the starting lineup really pitched in from three-point range in that first quarter. Almost everybody hitting threes. I mean, Draymond even hit a three. Moody hit a three during that run. Pods hit a three just before that run. Jimmy did not hit a three. We don't need Jimmy Butler shooting threes. He does all his work that we need from him at the free throw line and in the paint and in the mid-range game, setting up guys, all that sort of stuff. So the Warriors did a great job going on that run. And as I said, it wasn't just Steph. Pods, 17 points at the half, 22 points in total for him, and he went 4 of 6 from three-point range. This is a huge development, because he's showing you that he can play consistently as that number 2 guard next to Steph Curry, that he is actually a reliable scorer. And that's not something that we thought that we could say about him when we were at the halfway point of this season. Pods was looking shaky, but let's be real, he was not very healthy the first half of the season. He was constantly getting hit in the face, wearing that face mask and re-injuring that broken nose over and over again. He was dealing with some other injuries as well that caused him to miss some time, and he just did not look like himself early on this season. And later in the season, in the second half, and really in these last week or two, Potts has really taken his game to another level. He's being really smart with his decision making, using that up fake to get defenders up in the air and then stepping through for little push shots in the lane. I love that move that he constantly goes to, and it always seems to work. So Pod's getting a lot of mid-range buckets. He's also hitting the threes. He's playing defense still. He's drawing the charges, all that sort of stuff. I love what I'm seeing from Brandon Podziemski, and I think that his play being at this level is something that is going to, help take the Warriors on a playoff run. They need other scorers other than Steph, and having Brandon Podziemski be that reliable number 2 scorer in the starting lineup is key for the Warriors' success going down the stretch. We still got several things to get to from today's show. We got to talk more about this defense, which has been very impressive, and we got to get to tonight's player of the game. Both of those things coming up next on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. And today's show is also sponsored by Betterhelp. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health, but traditional in-person therapy can be pretty expensive, often ranging from $100 to $250 per session. It's where BetterHelp comes in. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense, saving you time and money. Therapy isn't just for life's toughest moments. It can help with everyday stress, learning how to set boundaries, and developing a positive coping skills. Having access to support when you need it can make a big difference. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. Tonight, the Warriors' big bounce back win against the Suns, 133-95, blew them out of their damn building out there in Phoenix. And man, the Warriors look great right now. They moved to 23-17 on the road. And after that loss to Houston, I really wanted to see how this team would bounce back tonight. I thought that it was paramount that they come out and win this game, not only because of the logjam in the Western Conference right now. We'll get to that before we're out of here tonight on the show. But I mean, they needed to do it for their own psyche, for their own heads, for their own mentals. And Steph Curry bounced back in a big way. 25 points to lead the way for the Dubs. We could give him tonight's player of the game, but I think we need to go in a slightly different direction for that. Tonight's Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And we're going to give it to Brandon Podziemski because Brandon Podziemski has been playing really, really good lately. He's been playing his butt off. He's got 5 assists tonight, 5 rebounds tonight, 3 assists. He also pitched in a steal with his 22 points, 7 of 12 from the field and 4 of 6 from three-point line. He also got to the line a couple times, 4 free throws, 4 of 4 from the charity stripe, 4 pods. And he did all this in 22 minutes. I mean, guys averaging a point a minute, that's pretty damn good. He has been so efficient out there scoring the basketball lately. 7 of 12 again tonight, well over 50% from the field. I really love seeing this guy take another step forward because he's a guy that everybody was down on, myself included. I mean, I think we all kind of at a certain point this season said, why didn't we trade this guy in the offseason? And now we're sitting here looking at pods saying, thank God we didn't trade him in the offseason, because the Warriors, if they had traded for Markkanen, for example, which was the main guy that we felt like we missed out on, I don't think we'd be happy with that trade right now as Warriors fans, because Markkanen has been dealing with his back issue all year long, has not been very effective for the Jazz. He's also probably sat a few extra games because the Jazz are, in the Cooper Flag Take-a-thon sweepstakes, but pods, the way he's been playing, if he was doing this for another team and you were watching the Warriors need a second scoring option going down the stretch, that would just be miserable, man. That would be awful to have to be in that position. And thank goodness the Warriors held on to Brandon Podziemski. He has been very, very, very good. Discount Jack Harlow no more. This guy's making a name for himself. He's no longer going to be just viewed as second fiddle to that, kind of very in my opinion, kind of mid rapper. I'm not a big Jack Harlow guy personally, but Brandon Podziemski, I am a big Brandon Podziemski guy. I love the flow, the long curly hair is a vibe with the headband and all that. He always looks like he's just enjoyed in some extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. Those eyes always looking a little bit red for pods, but I don't care what he's doing in his free time. All I care about is what he's doing out there on the basketball court. And he has been so good for the Warriors as of late. And I don't expect this to slow down anytime soon. This guy being the second scoring option for the Warriors is absolutely key. And he really, kind of steadies the team. He's a great second ball handler when Steph is just trying to go run off screens and things like that out there, because we all know that Steph is probably even more dangerous when he doesn't have the ball in his hands than when he does have the ball in his hands. So Brandon Podziemski doing a great job kind of bringing this starting lineup together. Steve Kerr has always called him the great connector, and that's the exact role that he's been in with this starting lineup, but he's also been a great scorer for this team. They will need him to continue that down the stretch if they want to make a run in this postseason. And speaking of making a run in this postseason, the Warriors separate a little bit tonight from the Timberwolves, who lost to the Milwaukee Bucks earlier today. They also gain a little bit of ground on the Lakers, who lost to the Thunder today after Luka got ejected for getting into it with a fan on that was sitting courtside. That's a bad look for a team that's pushing to make the playoffs here and improve their playoff positioning. The Grizzlies did beat the Charlotte Hornets, so the Grizzlies still right there with the Warriors. And also it looks like the Warriors are also going to be keeping pace with the Clippers, who look like they're going to win tonight as well. So the Warriors really do a great job of capitalizing when they really needed to in winning this game tonight. Big bounce back win. We already talked about that. But this log jam in the Western Conference, the Warriors are in a good position, man, because you look ahead. You look at the Nuggets who are ahead of them, and the Nuggets have the same number of losses as the Warriors. And the Nuggets are in turmoil right now with Mike Malone being fired. I mean, seemingly out of nowhere earlier today. That was just an absolute bomb from Shams Charania, and it's the tied for the latest firing of a head coach in the NBA regular season. So I think that this is a good sign for the Warriors. I mean, you're looking around at the West, and what team right now really scares you? If you're looking at the Lakers, I think the Warriors match up very, very well with them defensively. I think that past Luka and LeBron, that Lakers team is pretty thin. Yeah, they got the top end star talent. Don't get me wrong. Luka and LeBron, nothing to take lightly. But past that, I mean, without their big interior threat in Anthony Davis, I'm glad to see him leave the Lakers, man, because Anthony Davis gave the Warriors fits. He would always kill us because the Warriors were always small. They were Draymond Green did a good job guarding him, but as soon as Draymond Green would come out, they would get exposed. The Warriors now don't have to deal with that guy. So I think that that's a team that the Warriors match up pretty well against. I think that Steph and Jimmy kind of cancel out LeBron and Luka. I think that those stars are pretty much all on the same level for the most part. Obviously, different types of players. Luka, a much more offensive-minded guy. Jimmy, a much more defensive-minded guy. But I think that the rest of the lineups, if you're looking at the rest of the Warriors team versus the rest of the Lakers team, I think the Warriors have the edge in that. The way Pods has been playing, Draymond Green obviously is included in that. I really like what the Warriors have done with the rest of their roster. I mean, Buddy Hield has started to come around a little bit. GP2, if he's healthy, is a big lift for this team. Quentin Post as well has been phenomenal for the Warriors in his rookie season. One of the best three-point shooters of his entire rookie class, and he is a 7+ footer. Very, very great find by the Warriors in the second round. We got to give Mike Dunleavy credit for putting this roster together, for making the trade for Jimmy Butler midseason, and pushing all the chips into the table and saying, we're going to go for it this year. While we have Steph in the last years of his career, we're going to try and win this one with Curry still on the team. One more. Let's get Curry a 5th ring. I would love to see that for the Warriors. And I really am not afraid of any other team in the West right now. I mean, Denver's still losing, like Joker's going crazy. Denver's still losing games. OKC is tough. And I think Houston matches up with the Warriors very well as also. So those are the two teams that I think are going to give the Warriors the biggest challenge in the postseason, the Rockets and the Thunder. But I think the Warriors have just as good a shot as anybody else at beating those two squads in the postseason. It'll take a lot of a very effective gameplay from Steph Curry. It's going to take some adjustments for if they play the Rockets to their defensive strategy. But I think that there's plenty other options on this team. And I think Steve Kerr is a good enough coach that they can absolutely navigate that and come out on top of either one of those series. I think that they absolutely have a legitimate chance to come out of the West and face probably the Celtics or the Cavs in the finals. I really do think in the East, it's for sure coming down to one of those two teams. Maybe you like the Knicks, but if you do, you're probably just living in New York and a little bit of a homer. And maybe people are saying the same thing about me being high on the Dubs, but I really do think that they have a legit shot. Before we get on out of here, I do want to mention tonight's defense was outstanding. You had two quarters, the second quarter and the third quarter, where you held the Suns below 20 points. And at that point, it was just, I mean, it sucked all the life out of the Phoenix Suns. They only had 3 guys in double figures tonight. Ryan Dunn had 12, and Grayson Allen also had 12. Devin Booker had 21. Past that, there was a whole lot of nothing on this Suns roster. I mean, they struggled to score the basketball tonight. It's less than 100 points in 2025 in a regulation NBA game is not very good. The Suns really struggling. And I mean, looking at Brad Beal, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, only 7 points, a -23 plus minus for Beal tonight. That trade looks pretty damn awful at this point in time for the Suns. Obviously, they don't have Kevin Durant, but still, this team is just massive underachievers. Got to be the biggest underachievers in all of the NBA this year. Thankfully, the Warriors capitalized on it tonight. Warriors play tomorrow night against the San Antonio Spurs. 7 p.m. tip. Only 3 games left. Every game is important. Thanks for tuning in to the Locked On Warriors postcast. That's all the time we got for you tonight. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.